Hello, my name's Manon Slome. Delighted to be here this morning. I'm the founder and curator of No Longer Empty, a public arts organisation that was formed 2 years ago. I moved from the museum world and started No Longer Empty because I had a very strong conviction about the passion for art and how in certain ways institutions were separating me and the public from art. And No Longer Empty really is designed to broaden the audience for contemporary art, to take art into communities, not in any kind of dumbing down way, but quality art within the heart of the communities. No Longer Empty didn't start out as an organisation, it started out as an exhibition. But one day, it was the week that Lehman Brothers had collapsed, and I was walking along Madison Avenue, and I think in the course of 5 blocks I counted something like 12 empty storefronts. That really struck me. And so, as a curator, a lot of my curatorial work has been at the intersection of art and social issues. And I started thinking about an exhibition called Empty. So when I started thinking about this notion of empty, where to do the exhibition, I thought, well, one of these empty storefronts would be perfect. Form and function coming together in one. And about a week later, I was at a dinner party telling somebody about my ideas, and one woman said, oh, I have an empty storefront you could use. It was a former fishing tackle store, and it was a bit of a mess, so I had 2 weeks to put this exhibition together. And so we had to take account of the surroundings, i.e. that it had been a fishing tackle store, that there were dioramas of beaches and everything. So I invited about 10 artists to come in to see the space, told them my ideas, and I said, for the next 2 weeks we're going to work on this and then open. And some phenomenal work was produced, really, really phenomenal. And we opened, and it was a great opening with all the art crowd there. But what was really interesting to me was that in the weeks that followed, the people that came in, people who were just on their way to work or getting the bus or something, sort of peered around the door, and we'd said, come in, it's an art show, you're very welcome, come in. And the conversations we had in the space were amazing, because normally as a curator, when I was in a museum, I put on a show and then I was in my office unless I was doing a VIP tour or something. I had no real contact with the visitors. And here I was being able to talk about art, and they came back again with kids, or they came back again with their family, and we extended the run. And I thought something really interesting is happening here, that we're presenting art in a very, very different way, and more than anything, making it accessible. We created a welcoming environment, and if you compare that to many spaces that you go into in commercial galleries, there's somebody sort of typing away and you're completely invisible. And it's a distinction and a separation that's very deliberate. Some people are in and some people are out. And as the art market has taken off, that division has increased. And I very strongly believe that the focus of art is a public focus. The origins of art were for the public. It was a way of communicating. In No Longer Empty, wanted to create a situation where art is brought into communities. So when we get a space in a community, we look at the history of the space, what was there before, what's the nature of the community, how is it changing, what are the issues that are coming up in that community. And then from there, the theme of the exhibition emerges, and then I go on to create the exhibition and select artists. It's our responsibility, being in the community, not to outreach, because that again says there's us in this community, but to engage the community. And I think that's a really important distinction. So we work with local organizations within the community and create public programming that is from children, teens, adults. So in multiple ways, whether it's artist studio visits, whether it's coming in and having workshops in the space with artists, bringing the children in, we engage the community in the activities that we're doing. And we like to think of each site that we take over becoming a kind of cultural hub, community cultural hub, where artists and the public and educators can get together and discuss ideas. In an ideal world, I would be running one exhibition in one of these gorgeous spaces on Fifth Avenue that has massive windows, and I can do large-scale installations. That would be lovely. And I would also be doing something in Guanas and the Bronx. So in the Bronx, we're moving into a space called the Andrew Friedman Home, which is an incredibly eccentric space. It was built in the early 20s by a wealthy philanthropist called Andrew Friedman. And nobody really knows why, but his vision was to create a space for formerly wealthy people who'd lost all their money in the recession as it came. And he felt that the sensibilities of the rich should not be trampled upon by the indignities of poverty. It's an Italian-style mansion which takes over a whole city block on the Grand Concourse, which of course used to be known as the Boulevard of Dreams, and we all want to know where those dreams ended. And this place ran until the mid-80s when the endowment ran out. And it's been pretty much vacant ever since, and we've been invited in to do a project. You couldn't be there and not acknowledge what it was before. But I didn't want to sort of continue curatorially with a white elephant. So I wanted to find ways of engaging the history of the home with the current realities of the Bronx. So I'm creating themes around issues of immigration, cultural memory, human ingenuity, in a sense, taking the notion of poor in style and turning it to cultures who manage to create wonderful artifacts. The Bronx is a very fractured community, and so if we did something in just in the Andrew Freedman home in the Grand Concourse, our population would be really people surrounding the Grand Concourse. And there's tremendous issues in the Bronx. I think that we are a new paradigm for the way art is created and the way art is shown. From the artist's point of view, it's a wonderful opportunity for them to work outside the box, to work without financial, the constraints of the market, you know, doing these phenomenal site-specific installations. There is a growing movement of artists working in the community, whether they're working in housing developments or they're working in participatory art, where the involvement of the viewer becomes a crucial part of the artwork. There is a strong sense that things cannot stay as stratified as they are now. And art, of course, has a role in that. Art reflects the zeitgeist. Art is part of a larger movement that is happening in the world, and both helping it and reflecting it. And so, you know, my goals for No Longer Empty are obviously to capture, to be at the forefront of this very exciting development in artistic creation and production. We strongly believe that art can help organize community. The organization is called No Longer Empty, and our website is nolongerempty.org with the wwws in the front of it.